All right. Hey, Ideal Protein Nation. I'm back. Did you miss me? Whew. Yes, like I said, you're going to have to give me a little leeway on this one. I'm coming back from 3 weeks off from the show. Had a vacation. I'm all rested and recharged and ready to go. And man, do we have a show for you today. We're going to make Life Possible podcast history today with the show and then the number of guests and the logistics that we've got working here. So strap in tight. Here we go. So, for those of you who don't know about the Life Possible podcast, the Life Possible podcast was designed to spotlight successful clients, coaches, and clinic owners who have used the Ideal Protein program to successfully reset their body, reset their mind, and reset what's possible for their lives. And as a result of that, these people are pursuing goals and dreams that they thought were dead and gone. They're pursuing goals and dreams they never thought they could. Or they're pursuing goals and dreams they never even knew they wanted to. In short, they're living a life that they love so much that they don't feel the need to escape from it. They're living life possible. So it's my hope that you will hear these stories and connect with these people and understand that if they can do it, you can too. Well, who am I? I'm Dr. John Barnes. I am clinic owner and coach at Ideal Protein Program at Barnes Chiropractic Health and Fitness in Centerville, Virginia. We are outside of the Washington, D.C. area. Why am I doing this? Well, I got to tell you, there's no easy way to put this. About 6.5 years ago, I found myself fat, sick, and depressed. And what's worse is I didn't see a way out. Everything I thought I knew how to do stopped working anymore. Something had happened, something had shifted or changed in my body and my metabolism, and I had no idea what was going on. But I tell you, the Ideal Protein program came to me as a direct answer to a lot of my prayers, both personally and professionally. So as a result of that, the first time I did the protocol, I lost 45 pounds and it absolutely changed my life. Now I find myself 70 pounds down from my original weight, and I'm pursuing goals and dreams and participating in the sport of triathlon again. And that to me is life possible. So that's why I decided to create this show. So who do we have for us today? What do we got going on? Well, I tell you what, I am super excited because today we've got the return of Wendy White-Stevens. Wendy White-Stevens, you might remember, was my guest on episode 9 of the Life Possible podcast back in September of 2020. We're at episode 28 at this stage of the game. If you did not see or listen to Wendy's episode before, please do, because she's absolutely amazing. I've been a huge fan of Wendy on Facebook and on the internet with all the amazing things that she's done through the Ideal Protein program. She's a clinic owner, a coach, and a guru. She runs 380 Ideal Health Studio in Aubrey, Texas. And last month, she approached me about an idea that she had about a show that would feature a project that is near and dear to her heart, and she's been working on for almost 2 years at this stage of the game. So, of course, I absolutely jumped on it. So I tell you what, without further ado, let's bring on Wendy White-Stevens. Hey, how are you,
Dr.
girl?
Barnes. I am awesome. So glad
Yeah?
to be back here. Yes. I'm going to say this. I love the intro. Everything that you say about, the podcast and the treatment, I'm just like, yes, that was me. Yes, that was me.
Yeah, right? Absolutely.
Every time.
And I think that that's actually a great segue. Let's bring this back, right? Because, again, whenever I see you on the internet these days, your pictures are always so beautiful. And I think the further that we get away from our before and afters, people even wonder if we ever had to lose weight. And so I thought it would be neat if we brought up your before and after that Ideal Protein shared last year, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure they shared it even before that, but one of the most popular before and afters that have ever come through my Facebook feed. What an incredible transformation you made, 120 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely incredible. And it's why I do what I do today.
Yeah. How long ago was that?
That was 2016, part of 2017. I started September 28th of 2016, and I wrapped up by June of 2017.
Okay. Man, that's It's so amazing. So tell us, what are we going to talk about the show? What is this project that you are so excited about and that we really are excited to share with Ideal Protein clinic owners, coaches, and clients?
Thank you so much. It's really a passion project. At 380 Ideal Health Studio, we aspire to create generational health. And, that is anywhere from helping those retirees get the life out of years to all the way down, right? All the way down the spectrum to, the youngest of people that we could influence. And that was really a natural segue into the relationship that I've been working on with Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD. It is a school district on the northern border of Fort Worth here in Texas.
Okay.
It absolutely fits the mold for generational health. Yeah, there's some statistics. Eagle Mountain Saginaw
Yeah.
ISD, it's 76 square miles. They have almost 1,200 teachers. They have over 18,000 students. And their motto is fostering a culture of excellence. And the more that I meet staff at Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD, the more that I've had the luxury of working with their leadership, their culture is of excellence. And I think that it really speaks to the treatment as well.
This is absolutely fantastic. So, um, you are working with a school district,
Yes.
and you're working under the guise of somewhat of being incorporated into their employee wellness situation.
Yeah, so in June of 2019, the conversation had started um, with some of the leadership here on campus. They had been working with Be Well Primary Care, their medical provider here for the district, who we also work with the Ideal Protein Treatment, Dr. Radhika Vianney and her team at Be Well Primary Care. And throughout the course of that conversation and just the kind of starting of the engagement, it really became evident that they were wanting to target, authentic connection between, what is going to set Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD aside from teachers and other staff within the district, feeling like this is the place for me. This is my home. This is where I want
Hmm.
to put my roots and make a difference.
Yeah.
And the way that they were looking at showing up in a way that differentiated them in the marketplace, if you will, is how do we really identify that, hey, we care about our staff 24/7. This isn't a 9 to 5 relationship. We really want them to feel that they are important as individuals because they really are. And that's how the Ideal Protein Treatment made a lot of sense, to work into a conversation as a potential opportunity to get their workforce healthy, truly healthy, metabolically healthy, so they could live their best lives 24/7.
Yeah, how amazing is that to be able to support them with something like this? We've had you and I have had conversations about this before. Workplace wellness is such a huge arena where the Ideal Protein program stands to shine. Nowhere can an employer offer their employees the opportunity to totally transform their health and their life, like you said. This is going to spill over into the workplace. And I found it, you had jotted down some notes, and I found it super interesting when we think about when a teacher, when their life improves and they have all the energy that they didn't have before, they feel fantastic and they're not getting sick. What kind of an impact does that make on their students?
It's significant. It is really a catalyst for the ripple effect. Kids are getting more value out of a teacher who is present, right? So they're on
Yeah,
campus. They've reported in. The district isn't saddled with substitute expense costs or lack of instruction time while the teacher is out sick. But when they are in the classroom, they are engaging with the kids. They are at their best. So the kids are getting their best, and the value in all the little lessons, even down to modeling good food behaviors, which is one of those low-key ways
yep,
that the
yep,
treatment touches the lives of the kids. They do this survey at the beginning of the year for the teachers, and these are my favorite things, and they ask for foods and drinks,
right,
and
right.
and I have had teachers modify that form so that they could say, hey, we like fresh vegetables. Here's my favorite vegetable. I like this water, these beverages. And they consistently are modeling really healthy food behaviors and balance with food lifestyle in the classroom, and the kids latch on.
Yep. Yep. Wow. And, again, generational health, you touched on that earlier. That's your deal, right? I mean, in our interview that we had back in the earlier episode together, I was just fascinated at your ability to change your life and then start to reach up and reach down to generations above and below you. And that's a pattern that you love. That is a passionate thing for you, isn't it?
It is, and another one of my taglines is you deserve to know how good you could feel at this age, because it really doesn't matter
Boom.
who is hearing
Boom.
that. If it's, a young adult who's finished college and, they're coming into their own, and they have that freshman 15 that never came off or more. The middle-aged husband or wife who's balancing and juggling balls, and while they're there every day and being intentional with their kids and their job and all their responsibilities, their health may have gone to the wayside unintentionally. And so the
Yeah.
little things that even, as a middle-aged woman, I could chalk up to, well, I am at that age. We start making concessions for aches and pains and lack of energy and all these other things. You're laughing, you get it.
Yep.
All these things
Yep.
that we just pacify with an age. Whereas when you undergo the treatment, you really do get the opportunity to say, wow, like Shazam, right, Dr. Barnes?
Yeah. Right.
My knee's not aching, my back's not aching, I'm sleeping well, my heartburn, these medications are being reduced. And especially what touches me a lot is it started with my parents. The story. My
Yep.
parents,
Yep.
came into the treatment after I lost 120 pounds. The reduction of medications for type 2 diabetes remission, texting me that they took 21,000 steps at Disneyland. That is retirement at its finest. They are active participants in their lives, right? And the
Yeah.
grandkids can be the motivator for that.
Oh, 100%. And I can't tell you how many clients have come in that is their why, that
Yeah.
they've got these grandchildren and, they want to be able to be active with them, to be able to enjoy them and play with them. So yeah, just mind blowing. You deserve to know how good you can feel at this. What did you say it again?
You deserve to know how good you could feel at this age, right?
Boom.
Because it just
Yes.
doesn't matter what your age is. You just deserve to know, like, what's the truth, right?
Right. And that's a great point. What is the truth? And we accept way too much, way too early as being, oh, this is just how it's going to feel.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and it can be so vastly different.
Oh, absolutely. So, again, just we want to throw up some stats and kind of talk a little bit about the concept of workplace wellness. Um, we've got some stats that you were able to garner from a friend of ours. What do we got here? Disengaged employees cost companies up to $550 billion a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's mind blowing to think, and it could show up in calling in when they're not sick but just don't want to be there, when they're there and potentially riding the clock, or there and trying to do their best with what they have, and their best is what they're able to do because of the limitations directly due to their health.
Yeah. Yeah. Company health and well-being programs result in an 11% increase in revenue per employee per year. Wow.
It's phenomenal. It's all the non-tangible things that getting your workforce healthy can afford the company, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And what they can save the company. So for every dollar spent on an employee wellness program, $3.3 are saved in healthcare costs. Now that's huge, and especially if you're self-insured, right?
Absolutely. It's interesting when you really dive into all the statistics, especially in 2021 after the 2020 we had.
Yeah, right.
The focus is shifting from what the standard mold used to be for workplace wellness into the space of authentically healthy, emotional, mental health, and
Hmm.
also telemedicine is on the rise, and that's something that we experienced. We did a right quick pivot with the onset of the pandemic last year, and we too have been in the telemedicine space. And so those are the top three top 3 focuses for workplace wellness as we move through 2021.
That's awesome. And companies with workplace wellness programs in place report 66% productivity increase.
Which is amazing.
Absolutely.
66% is something to go, okay, what is leading up to the value in that 66%? What could we realize with a 66% increase?
Yeah, absolutely. So you went ahead and you approached Eagle Mountain Saginaw with this concept, and you wanted you did a beta test group. When was this? Way back in?
So we had launched, we had done like a beta test group that started in June of 2019. Fast forward, and in January of 2020, we launched a beta group. Participants at will attended the intro webinar, a seminar, and we ended up with 14 active participants in that 6-week group. Okay. After the 6 weeks, we had a total loss of 305.2 pounds. That's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was over 50 pounds collectively lost per week amongst that group of 15 folks, which is 3.4 pounds per person per week. And more than half of those participants actually continued on after the 6 weeks. We've got a lot of, it's a great group. Everybody was very thankful to be a part of it, and they were all astounded. Dr. Barnes, you and I see these results constantly, right?
Yep.
With us taking control of the science in our bodies, it's predictable, it's repeatable, but everybody fresh to the treatment is just blown away. And, after that 6 weeks, like I said, half of those participants carried on with the treatment. 2 of those participants actually reached their goal in that 6 weeks.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So this was just supposed to be a 6-week program, but people decided that, no, I want to keep going. I want to take this further.
It was incredible. At the end of that 6 weeks, we did a roundtable. We had a very candid and open discussion with some of the leadership here at the school district. With the participants, we did a survey, a post-beta group survey, where they provided, again, just unbridled, untempered comments. It was all very positive. There was a lot of education, a lot of learning, a lot of unexpected aha moments through the course of that 6 weeks. We did actually, based on the results of the 6 weeks, just the data, as well as the feedback from participants, we did get an extension for 6 more weeks. It looked a little bit different. However, Dr. Barnes, through the course of that second 6-week run, the pandemic hit.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. And we were talking about this, and I was devastated for you. Right? Because here you have been doing all this work. You've got this in place. You had this incredible result. These people are doing fantastic. And who could have seen this coming?
No one, absolutely no one. And by nature, I'm not thinking of me. I'm not thinking of the effort. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, the clients, right? We have got to continue on. They're doing far too good for us to have this be a showstopper for us. That's when we immediately pivoted to the virtual setting. There was not a hitch in our get along, so to speak.
Nice.
But long term, it did stunt the growth of the experience throughout the district. Okay.
Sure.
And that's where we're kind of coming back in today. We had a rough go 2021, and down here in Texas, we did have a really hard, crazy freeze in February, which again elongated the separation and the ability for engagement.
Yep. Again, who saw that coming?
Exactly.
Who saw that coming?
What else? We were able to get back together. I had an on-site visit here with a couple of people at the middle of April. And what was so humbling to me and so heartwarming was the fact that it validated to me that no matter what, no matter the time, no matter the distance that has been between us, there was still a lot of relationship equity here. right?
Mm,
Literally all the feels, between the
yep.
relationships that we had established, the fondness for the treatment. And so we put our heads together and we said, what can we do? Even though this may not look like what we planned on 2 years ago, rarely does
Hmm.
life ever look that way, 2 years in retrospect anyway.
Right.
Um, but we decided to present an opportunity to the staff at Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD for an 8-week course of rejuvenation. Okay, it has been all they could do to get through this, the pandemic situation, get the kids through the year, and just make it slide into home for summer, right? And we know the value of 8 weeks in the treatment, even though someone who hasn't had the experience maybe skeptical as to the value
Hmm.
in 6 weeks. We know the value in 10 days.
Right. Right.
Yeah, so because the district is still committed and they do understand the value of this treatment, they did go ahead and support the 8-week summer rejuvenation course.
So that's coming up.
It's coming up, and in the interim, I reached out to some of the successful clients here from Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD. I invited them to join us on your
All
podcast.
right. Yes. And so we've got some people to check in with. We're going to find out
Yes,
a little bit about their experience going through the beta test group and going forward. So let's do that. Do we have? I think we've got a guest that might be ready. Let's
I
see
think
if she's.
so.
I think so too. Let's bring out. Hey, this is Lisa. Hi,
Hi,
Lisa. How are you? Lisa Dunn. There she is.
doing great today. Thank you.
I have
All
a
right.
go ahead. I have a brief
No,
intro.
yeah.
Um, it was fun for me to kind of jot down some notes about each one of our guests' experiences to date. I kind
Yep.
of assimilate it with writing in a yearbook, okay? To stay with the frame of reference with school, right? And Lisa is the principal of principals actually here at the district.
Wow.
Um,
Woo.
so, her days are hectic. She's traveling from campus to campus, overseeing all the schools within the Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD district. She became curious about the protocol after seeing Rachel's transformation, another one of the employees here at Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD. There's a lot, you either hear about the treatment from your physician or you know someone who's done something to get healthy and you're just dang curious. You're like, what is she up to? What is he doing?
Yeah.
And Lisa has had the best mindset from the get-go. She has been by far my most willing client to try new veggies, which
The
I
opposite of
find
me.
right. She's been hands-on with all of her cooking. Each week we provide recipes and suggestions, and she does keep me on my toes to utilize more of the obscure vegetables to keep variety on her plate. Currently, Lisa is down 15% of her total starting body weight. And I think it's noteworthy that she has journaled 100%.
Wow. Well, of course, being a teacher and a principal of principals, she would have to be. She would.
She's on time. She's never absent. She takes good notes.
That's what we would all expect, right? Because if she gets in trouble or she's late, whose office is she going to if she's the principal of principals?
Right? Oh, we don't. She doesn't even want to go there. Lisa, I would love for you to share with us your why statement for having started the Ideal Protein treatment.
Well, as the principal of elementary, I don't have just one statement, Dr. Barnes and Wendy. I mean, obviously, COVID was not good to me physically, but even prior to that, I'd struggled with weight. I think there's a myriad of reasons, but one of them is just physical appearance. I would walk into a room and I could tell you within 10 seconds if I was the largest person in the room. And those kind of comparisons are damaging to someone's self-esteem. That
Mm-hmm.
In our society today, we're judged a lot by appearances, snap judgments without getting to know people, and that was always unsettling to me and dissatisfying. But beyond the physical appearance, I had colleagues, I had Becky and Mindy that looked fabulous, but even beyond the looking fabulous, at the stage of where I want to be healthy. I have a lot of things to do in the rest of my life. I want to like you said, Dr. Barnes, play with my grandchildren, but I want to travel and I want to have the energy to do those things. I want to have mobility and stamina. And really, it kind of boils down to is I really want to be the best that I can be, and I'm not the best I can be when I'm having to be sluggish and tired and sad about the way I look. I want to feel self-confident, and so really word of mouth about the program. There's a lot of programs that would help, but just seeing the success of my colleagues, that's the best picture you can have. The best testimonial is someone who looks fabulous and who obviously feels good. Uh, uh, their overall health has improved so much. So that's a long why statement, Wendy, but that's kind of my why statements.
I think
Yeah.
it's typical, right? There's no short version when it comes to you talking about feeling your best and living your best life. We don't want the short version, right?
Yeah.
You are worth the long version, okay? You deserve the long version, okay? Um, and
And
all of those
there
are
there were so many statements in that statement that people will identify with.
Mhm.
You know, I think that we come into this program thinking we're the only one that feels this way. And, everything you just said, Lisa, I hear over and over and over again. So many people are struggling with a lot of the same thoughts and issues that you struggled with. And so this is why we do what we do here, because they're going to hear your story and they're going to be inspired by that. So you know what? Actually, Lisa, what kind of changes did you notice as you went through the protocol, as you went through the program?
Well, and Dr. Barnes, I'm still in phase one. In fact, I only started the middle of April 10th. I call sort of the beginning of the new improved me was April 10th. And so, but already I
Love that.
really by the amount of stamina I have and the energy I have at the end of a long day, a 12 or so hour day. I don't go home and fall on the couch, exhausted. I have stamina to still do things. And that then leads to just overall happiness. Wendy talked about journaling. I journal every day, and you on the mood tracker, you pick this smiley face. And I think I'm like, delightful. I'm delighted. I'm just truly astonished by how good I'm feeling. And if I feel this good at this point of the program, I can only anticipate how good I'm going to feel when I get to phase three. I think another interesting thing that Wendy mentioned is I like to cook. So I've been trying all these new vegetables, and I'm astonished at how many vegetables I like. And so I think that's going to lead, my expanded palate is leading then, I think, to healthier lifestyle. So when I get to phase three and beyond, I'm able to go, yeah, I really like eating that. I like that. I prefer that over this. And I think that establishing new patterns of thinking and new habits is a critical piece of what I'm beginning to enjoy.
Oh, that's absolutely amazing. Oh, fantastic.
I know. I love it. My heart's bursting. So Lisa, what advice would you give to someone who is contemplating testing out the ideal protein treatment?
Well, I'm going to admit, Wendy, that I was highly skeptical of the program because when I was talking to people that had done it, I thought there is no way I can live without, my snacks and popcorn and sodas. And I honestly thought I'm going to be hungry all the time. You know, it's been an amazing, unbelievable thing that I'm not hungry. I feel satisfied with what I eat. I feel
Hmm.
like I have control of my life and I'm controlling destiny. And man, I say, if you really want to feel better and if you want to get healthier and you want to be the best you can be, you need to go for it and you need to commit to it. And I always keep that why in front of me of why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And
Hmm.
I've not had any issues staying on protocol because I like the results so much. And so man, I say go for it. Go do it. Try it.
Wow. I don't think that you could have asked for a better testimonial than that.
I know. I'm beaming with pride.
And again, worth stating, Lisa, you are in the weight loss phase or phase 1 of this treatment protocol. How many weeks in are you at this stage of the game?
Well, April 10th, so 7, 6,
Yeah.
7.
Yeah, maybe 6 or 7 weeks, right? And you're just feeling this amazing already. That's so. Is there anything else? Is there anything that you'd like to say that we didn't talk about previously?
I think one key to the success of the program is having a very involved coach. I think having a coach not only gives me accountability because she looks at my journal and she looks at my food, but not just accountability. She's the biggest cheerleader we have, and she's the biggest. She offers encouragement. Sometimes when I'm not, I have several colleagues kind of out to each other. So that coach support is just, I think, an incredible part of the success of the program. I think doing it alone would be a lot more difficult. It's certainly not impossible. But for me personally, I need to have someone that's going to cheer me on. And Wendy is just the best cheerleader I can have.
Yeah, you know what, and I totally get it. Like I said, every time I spend time with Wendy, I think about I don't even know why my patients even come see me because wow, compared to Wendy, uh, I don't even know what I'm doing. So yes, I can see how she would be an incredible cheerleader and a resource for you, and that's a great point about coaching.
Yeah, it is one of those critical it's one of the critical pieces of the puzzle, right? And I always tell people ideal protein, while you may not understand every little thing that we're doing right now, I'll teach you, but it's all necessary. It's all a piece of the puzzle and it's not complete if one of the pieces is missing. And a corner piece of this experience is your coach, bar none. Absolutely
I
bar
agree.
none. Lisa,
Agree.
thank you so much for making time to come out here and join us in the studio for the podcast. We really,
Yes.
really appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing your testimonial.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. It was a pleasure to be here.
Yeah. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for bearing with us. Good luck on your journey.
Thank you.
Wow.
I know.
That's just our first guest, Wendy. She was amazing.
It's so awesome. I mean, there is just such incredible things happening in North Texas with Ideal Protein, and it's all over the place. It's not just North Texas. This is my experience. That was her experience, but it's mind blowing. It's life changing. It's dream changing. When we talk to Rachel next, she has her story, and she's here with the district. She's actively on a campus.
Okay.
But yeah, everything Lisa said, you and I can both assimilate with our own journeys as well as what we see repeatedly, regularly.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Rachel, who we're going to speak to next, was the one who inspired Lisa, or is the one?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
she was one
Okay.
of the ones that Lisa has more direct contact with.
Gotcha. Well, I tell you what, I think that Rachel might be ready. Oh, I think I see her. She's coming in the studio now. We're going to bring her in.
Okay.
Hey, there she is. Hey, Rachel. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Hey, Rachel. I have my little intro for you. Rachel is a principal. Um, as she put it to me one day, she has 500 plus kids, as well as staff members. And I was thinking, holy smokes, I've never thought about it that way, but that's a lot of kids.
Yeah, right. Wow.
She's also a wife and a mom, and her kids, her son plays in traveling sports. Okay, Rachel is one of those people with a chart the course personality, right? You put her on on this journey, and she is going to reach that destination. Doesn't matter the waves, doesn't matter the weather, she's going. And I was in awe with her from the start, to be honest. Her very first weekend, she was traveling out of town, sitting on the sidelines as her son played game after game. She stayed in a hotel. She ate out. She had her cooler. She, like,
Wow.
literally, that's just ripping off the Band-Aid of barriers, right? She's been compliant. She has journaled consistently, and she is just simply doing amazing. Rachel, to this point, has lost 20% of her starting body weight on the
Wow.
treatment. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That was what I was thinking about when I was reflecting on you, Rachel. I'd love for you to share your why with the viewers.
I would love to share. And basically, it's just what you had said, being a principal, but also being a busy mom. I had put all of those things in front of my. And so as I was getting ready to go to like my yearly doctor's appointments and get checked up, it was one of those fear things. Like I knew COVID wasn't kind to me. I knew that actually becoming a first year principal in the middle of COVID, that wasn't kind to me. My stress level was through the roof.
Yeah.
And made the doctor's appointment, went, got my test results back. And that's what I was like, I had to do something. And so I had seen success with Mindy Miller. And so a fellow principal, and I was astonished, as well as a teacher on my campus was in community. And so I could just see the joy on their faces. And I thought, I got to get some of that. And so all of this, just so that I can be a better mom, get my health in check, and also be a better principal at school for my kids.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you do got to get you some of that joy, girl. We all deserve joy. And I am like, it is so amazing to me to have someone say that, they put Ideal Protein in the frame of reference of they're seeking joy, they are going to this treatment.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely
really.
incredible. So, Rachel, when you were going through, as you've been going through the protocol, you're in phase 1, yes?
Yes.
And what kind of changes have come about since you got started? What kind of things surprised you?
I think the biggest changes has been the clarity in my mind when making quick decisions. That I've seen the most change with. I think that I don't know. Maybe before it was a little foggy. I had too much sugar in my system.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think. And two, just I think I'm always happy, but I just feel I'm happy with myself. So my self-esteem is up. Comfortable speaking in front of groups. The pictures that you just showed, I don't know if people can see them or not.
Yeah. Here, we'll bring them back. Yep.
Yeah, that's a January. So where I was in the biggest was January. So I started March 8th, as a matter of fact. And so I might have even been a little bit heavier than that picture. And side by side with my son 2 weeks ago. And so that's just the difference, basically, to 2 weeks ago. But I think I feel so much more comfortable in my own skin and for who I am. It's a big thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love how everybody talks about something a little bit differently and clarity of thought when making quick decisions. That's an amazing concept. And it's something that both Wendy and I certainly experienced going through ours. The clearing of that brain fog is absolutely it's a thing when your brain goes into ketosis, when your brain starts burning ketones. It is a lot sharper than it used to be. And it's certainly something that is seen across the board in research, and there's literature that talks about that. But it's really cool when you just hear people say things like that.
Absolutely. And I can only imagine as a first year principal, trying to manage the scene with the pandemic, how many rapid fire decisions you were making. I remember very vividly the first time I realized I was having good, clear thoughts. And I thought, that is amazing. I can't even believe that just happened. It's so pronounced. We recognize it. That's the only way I can sum it up, right? It's such a pronounced difference that it's obvious. Sometimes things have to be obvious to me. Rachel, what would you say to someone who is contemplating the Ideal Protein treatment?
I would tell them not to let a busy schedule get in the way. There's always ways around successful. I do work, as you know, I'm at school every morning before 7, and most of the time I'm still there after 7. Plus, my son is very busy. My husband's a firefighter, and so he works shift work. So I am a lot of times the one getting my son to and from, especially on our weekend trips and things like that. So it's number one doable, and you just have to sit down and chart your course. So you have to know what's coming in your week, make a plan and stick to it, and you're going to be successful. There's just so many around food. Food is fuel. I learned that it's fuel, not for feelings, and so
I'm sorry. Can you say that again?
I would love to. Seeing food as fuel and not for feelings. That's going to be is to plan and just see food for what it is.
That is. Where'd you get that? It sounds like another Wendyism to me, right? I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh, it's so amazing. Any other thoughts or any other things that you wanted to share with people that you haven't shared already?
No, I think that anybody that's contemplating it or going through it and struggling, just find someone that can walk along beside you, whether it's your or being willing to reach out in different groups to find somebody that you can connect with that's walking the same path. There's multiple people in the same situation that I am that just need someone to walk alongside of, and just reaching out and finding those people.
Oh, that's fantastic. Again, fantastic points. Well, congratulations on your changes so far. I wish you luck on your journey. And thank you so much for being with us to share, because I'm sure that people are going to identify with those things that you talked about.
Thank you, Rachel.
Wow. Again, when you see Wendyisms shine through your clients, how does that make you feel? That's so cool.
It's incredible. Sometimes we'll get on an appointment and they'll say, you said something to me that stuck with me, and I think like, oh my gosh, what was it? And so much comes out of this mouth, which it's so beautiful to see how they all pick up the tidbits they need, right?
Yes, absolutely.
The tools in their kit are built week over week, conversation by conversation, and these are really unscripted interviews. You know what I mean? I want to say that, like, we hadn't discussed what their answers were prior to us hearing it live right now. And it's just amazing. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah. That's so neat. And so those two ladies are they're going through phase 1 right now.
Yeah.
And they're still making changes and all of that stuff. Yeah.
They're doing great work, and they're committed. They're living the truth and how good they could feel at this age. When they're just getting started. Rachel's been a couple months, and Lisa's 7 weeks, and our next guest, Becky Nevins, is going to be our maintenance guest. And so if she happens to be available, we'll give her maybe a minute to get into the studio. But yeah, absolutely. I'm just humbled with, hearing. It's kind of like, I try not to be a helicopter coach, but there's such a almost a familial relationship here where I'm just so proud of them. If I could say proud parent moment, like that's what I feel like inside of me. It's just like, your clients are shining and they are learning and they're growing and they're feeling good. It's everything that you would hope to pour into someone's cup realized. It's just incredible.
Well, I've made a lot of jokes about it, but Wendy, you're an amazing coach. You're an amazing clinic owner. And, this, to me, this is one of the reasons why I created this show, was so that clinic owners and coaches could spotlight their successful clients, and in turn, we could spotlight the coach and the clinic owner. This is free publicity for a clinic, so that they can use this to publicize, how they coach and the success of their clients and the program within their office. And I'm hoping that as a result, maybe of people hearing this, that I'll get more coaches and clinic owners contacting me, understanding that point, so that we can see, some amazing transformations that we have no idea about. I mean, seriously, how many clients could you possibly even have on the show? You have to have a list of so many amazing changes and transformations.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. If you want us to fill your 2022 schedule, we can. Um, but this
Right?
right here is the prime example of, it's not even, life possible or powering life possible. Like Ideal Protein is dream changing. I am living a life today that I would have never imagined. I would have never put myself in this position. Even if I had set out years ago to say, I want to do this, I don't know that I would have ever gotten there. It took the amazing transformation of the
Yep.
treatment in my life to really peel back the layers of my onion and reveal what is my passion, what is my purpose. I am living my purpose. I'm living my passion every day by virtue of being able to walk with clients and enabling them by virtue of the treatment to live their best lives. I cannot believe this is my life, Dr. Barnes. It is absolutely incredible.
Well,
I'm
and again,
serious.
it is the best job in the world. When we talk about this treatment protocol being predictable, repeatable, and measurable. When you have a tool that's this powerful and this predictable, you have the ability to help every single person that walks through that door.
Mhm.
And you have no idea then what they're going to do with their life afterwards. And that's been, like you said, the stuff that we couldn't have imagined when we even got into this.
It's absolutely transformative in a way that is 110% unpredictable. I just say, let it happen, right? Expect
Right.
the unexpected and embrace it and just see what happens. You got nothing to lose.
Surrender to it and let it change your life. Right. Well,
Yeah.
so far, if we were to recap with the people that we've interviewed, let's see. When you're in phase 1 and you're losing weight on this very restrictive protocol, you have more energy than you had when you came into the program?
Mm-hmm.
Really? How can that be? Right?
Yeah.
I loved her candidness about that. She thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to be hungry all the time. I'm going to be eating popcorn and, I'm never going to make it. I think that's one of the number one concerns people coming into the program.
Yeah. That and this is not going to work for me. I will be the one.
I'll
this
be the
doesn't
one.
work for. I'll be that one. And then they, lo and behold, mind blown.
Yeah. And so then, again, the mental clarity aspect that Rachel brought up, that is so, I haven't had anybody on the show, I don't think, actually speak to that. And that is one of the most common things that happen. And for me, as I always tell people, when I started this program, I expected to lose weight. And that was my only expectation.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect to get the energy back that I hadn't had for years, to get my mind back. Like you said, that first morning when you wake up and you're just kind of like, wait a second, I'm here. I'm back. Right?
I didn't wake up tired.
Oh my, number one, I woke up, and number two, like the clarity of thought. Unbelievable.
It's those points of intersection. That's part of what I call the undeniable evidence, right? Because that's what it really takes. We all need to collect our own little tidbits of undeniable evidence, okay? And that's how we can't dispel all the good that's happening within our bodies based on changing the food that we're eating. That's it.
Well, and that's the other thing, right? Where you're blowing me away saying that this can happen to anybody just merely by changing the food that they eat.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
The nutrition is the most underestimated aspect of life, of a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be the absolute most powerful. And that's what we're here to teach people. So it's not just about losing the weight. We've had some really great examples of how you feel and what goes on when you're in phase 1 and you're losing weight. How about after you've lost the weight, you've made the transformation? I'm super psyched about some of the things we're doing here with our maintenance program. How about you?
I am so thrilled. And I will say this all day long. It is never going to be easier than it is with the way that Ideal Protein has structured the education, the engagement, and the opportunity to maintain the good health we have captured by virtue of the phase 1 treatment, with the way that we walk with you and present. How do I maintain all this great work I've just done. It is never going to be easier. And like I said, I will say that all day long. I love it. It's totally
Amen,
adoptable.
sister.
It's adoptable.
Oh,
It's understandable. And
yep.
it is just takes you right out of all the weeds, puts you right on the highway, right? We're taking
Yep.
the fast track to weight maintenance, something that is extraordinarily elusive, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's something we've got that I haven't heard anybody else has.
Yeah, and it
So,
is phenomenal. Go ahead, Dr. Barnes.
so with that in mind, do we have somebody that might be a great example of this concept that you've coached?
Oh, we do. We have Becky Nevins with us this afternoon.
Becky, I think I saw Becky come in the studio here. Let's bring her on out. Becky, welcome to the Life Possible podcast.
Well, thank you.
How are you today?
I'm pretty good considering we just came off of a very busy weekend. Graduate.
Becky, yes, it's so wonderful to have you here joining us. And I wanted to share with you what I had prepped in my notes when I was given the opportunity to reflect on your journey. Okay. Becky was a part of the beta group. Okay. So we have been working together since January of 2020. And, through the course of all my copious note taking and data collecting and thinking about Becky, I went back to some of those resources. And one of the resources I came across was part of Becky's survey results. And I wanted to share with Becky, she probably doesn't even remember this. First, just a little bit of Becky's background. She is the executive assistant to the superintendent here at Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD. I have never seen her cape, okay, but I'm fairly certain she's got one, especially after pulling off the pandemic and phase one and being, the executive assistant to the superintendent all at the same time, right? To me, that equates to able to leap tall buildings in a single bound type situation. And
Absolutely.
that's what she did. So Becky, here's your quote from the survey. This was in February of 2020. I'm going to stay on the program for 2 to 3 more weeks. Just this past week, I lost 0.8 pounds. I have to make sure that the cost and time is justified. So when we were winding down the beta group, you were probably, in your mind, you had set a path to head into stabilization before spring break. Okay. I will share with you that at that point you were down 21.4 pounds, which was that 10%. Okay. That was 10% of the starting body weight. Okay. And we know there's significant health benefits derived from simply losing 10%,
Yep.
no matter
Yep.
what the duration of your journey to get healthy looks like. That 10% provides significant value. She ended up continuing in phase one with me until October. And she lost a total of 95.2 pounds.
Wow.
I know, she is literally the poster child for maintenance. Okay. She plugged into the education for stabilization. There's her before and afters.
Yeah, we've got these awesome before and after
Yes.
pictures.
A key component, Becky stayed curious. Like the whole time, Becky's curiosity never waned. Okay. She found new recipes for a healthier lifestyle, and I'll let her share her indulgent maintenance dessert. It's really good. But she just was in it to win it, and she absolutely has. And with that, we'll have Becky start off sharing her why, not only starting out but in maintenance as well.
Well, I think the tipping point for me was we were in Carolina visiting family back in late December, right after Christmas. And I was on the floor or trying to be on the floor to play with my grandson and realized that I couldn't get up. I couldn't do much. And I decided at that point, if I wanted to be around for my family and my grandkids, I needed to do something to get healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Losing was important, but it was getting healthy and needed to. I've lost a significant amount of weight at least times in my lifetime. Never this much at one time. I actually weigh what I did when I got married.
Wow.
Not a record, but it's the weight is the same. And I knew something that was smart and that would do it and would be a lifestyle. So that's kind of my why. I wrote some notes down because this makes me nervous, but
You're doing great. You're doing great. Just
Yes,
you and me
no,
and
you're
Dr.
doing
Barnes.
great. Yep.
we, especially as moms, wives, we sometimes think taking time out for ourselves or doing something for ourselves is to this extent is being selfish or self-centered. And I decided that no, it actually was being self-smart and was for my family.
Mm-hmm.
And when I looked at it that way, I started the journey, and I'll tell you, it wasn't always easy. My husband lost his job due to the pandemic in April or May, so I thought, well, I can afford it for another month. I took it a month at a time, and it just kept rolling, and I kept doing fine. But I told Wendy my mantra is one day at a time, one decision at a time. I wasn't worried. I tell
Absolutely.
people several in the last few weeks here at work, and I said, don't think about whether or not you're going to be able to stick with it next week or even or a month from now. Just think about today and make one decision. And so and of course, Wendy always encouraged me in meeting with me. It was never beat me over the head type thing, but redirected when I needed and encouraged when I felt like I wasn't doing very well. So
That's just so powerful, though. I don't think that there's a more powerful statement than what you just said. One decision at a time. We talk about that in the support groups that we have in our clinic, and people that are struggling. You've got to just stay focused on that, and that's just so fantastic. So, Becky, as you were going through phase one, what kind of changes came about, and especially changes that you may or may not have expected to come while you were losing the weight?
well, I will say, and Wendy remembers this, the first couple of weeks were challenging because your body actually detoxes.
Mhm.
Some
Mm-hmm.
than the others. Of course, we were just coming off the holidays too, so you can guess about the foods. But yeah, it took a couple of weeks. Once I got past that, my energy level started to go up. I started to feel better. I was still experiencing some hunger pains, and I remember what Wendy told me. She said, "It's okay to be hungry." Well, that kind of changed my way of thinking, and then we had plans of what to do when the hunger pains strike. Drink more water. Make sure you get your vegetables. Make sure you get the right kind of fats. Those are the things that will keep the hunger pains at bay. But the thought is it's okay to be hungry. We think if we're feeling a little hungry, we need to feed it. And we don't feed it. We need to put it off a little bit. So I learned to eat vegetables that I will have to say that I never ate in my whole life. But
Yeah, yeah.
and they're now part of my life. And I have a pretty good repertoire of vegetables, but I even bought bok choy today, and those things were, I, the value of vegetables, and I cook them fresh too. So, and the benefit of that is, even though my husband's not on the program, he gets the fresh.
Everybody
There always
benefits.
is that spillover effect to the spouse, for sure. right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Becky, what advice would you give someone who is contemplating the ideal protein treatment?
Well, I think people need to look at their options. You can you can keep going the way you are and not be healthy, put yourself at risk for health issues. I will have to admit, I feel better at 62 than I did at 52.
Right?
Love that.
I do. And I don't want to skip past a really important piece of all this is what would you say were the key factors enabling your success in maintenance?
Well, the knowledge that you gain, first of all, about the science of it, how body works, how it's you can get dependent on the sugar tank. That visual was really an eye opener for me. Um, but the knowledge you gain about what to eat and how much to eat and
Hmm.
how to make adjustments when the scale starts to go back up, which, in maintenance, that happens. Um,
Hmm.
my check-ins with Wendy were part of the success, and just a strong desire to not go back to the way I used to be.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
It,
wonderful. And Becky did just take it step by step. Even as we were approaching the stabilization phase where all that education is really deployed for learning your macro. We're talking about proteins, fats, and controlling the carbohydrate intake. She did stay curious, right? She understood the value, and she walked through that several weeks worth of trial and error, working out what is best for her, coming up with her new food choices. And I share this, and I'll be brief, Dr. Barnes.
No. Hey,
um,
yeah, right. No need.
In my former professional life, I worked for a global food and beverage company in the research department, and they spent millions of dollars every year trying to figure out how to get people to shop off their grocery list. Because no matter who you are and how varied you think your food variety is week to week, we only have about 20 core foods that we keep buying.
Yep.
And so as we're going into stabilization, we talk about, hey, don't think about the wide world of foods, right? Let's just work on your new core set of 20, right?
That's it. And I jump up and down and preach that through the office. We are creatures of habit, right?
Yeah.
And whether you're eating a poor diet or whether you're eating a good diet, we still have the same 12 to 20 foods that we eat every single week. So
Yeah.
that whole process of stabilization is just literally, and I make people actually write out a list. I'm like, let's make out that list of our foods that are the basis of this new lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because if we can get those foods, you're blowing my mind. Here, I thought I should have known I didn't come up with that on my own.
But it's great, when you think 20 was on the high end, you're right. It could be closer to 12. I just, people get kind of like number shock when you say like 11 or 12, 13 things.
Yeah.
But in reality, all we got to do is work out that base of our go-to up to 20 items. And,
Yep.
then, everything else can work its way in when the time is right. And as we want to continue to explore the nutritional value of new food choices and how our body responds. That's a critical piece
Yeah.
too.
And how much fun is this now as we're doing this new maintenance program? So much fun for us.
It's really empowering is what it is.
So you mentioned something about Becky and a maintenance dessert. Is there a story there?
This is part of her being Sherlock Holmes of her food life, okay? And I'm going to let her share it.
Well, it's very simple. It's just heavy whipping cream, some stevia, chocolate
Okay.
stevia,
Mm-hmm.
and cocoa, and a little bit of swerve and cream cheese. And then I whip it up and I divide it up into 8 containers that are already pre-measured. So I'll eat like a 4-ounce container, but it's not really full. And that's my reward in the evening.
Okay.
I look forward to that, and I don't eat sweets otherwise. So.
Now you had me until, did you say green peas?
No, that last.
Sorry.
It was cream cheese.
Cream
It's a
cheese, there it
final
is. Okay,
ingredient,
I'm
right?
saying, man, I am right with you, but I am not putting green peas in there.
I love green peas, but I don't eat them very often. They have too many sugars.
Oh, look at, man, she's killing it. I
I
love
told
it.
you.
I love it. Well, I am going to have to try dessert now that I know that it's cream cheese. And I can't even imagine how good that tastes. Whew.
It's really good. And sometimes I put in some sugar-free PB Fit, and it's chocolate peanut butter mix.
Well, I'll even go so far as to put real peanut butter in there because you know what? That's on my core food list. Yeah.
Fit, but it's pretty good.
Fantastic. So, Becky,
Yeah.
is there anything else that you want to share with us that we haven't talked about so far?
Like I said, I've done other programs before. I won't name them. I feel like the ideal protein protocol makes so much sense and has proven to be successful. And it's been for me. I think it's something that I can live with. Of course, putting myself out there, sharing this, now I have to be successful because everybody.
Now you have to.
Someone stopped at Walmart. They hadn't seen me in a while. First, they didn't recognize me. And asked me, "What have you done? I need to lose weight." So I shared my story. I even forwarded her Wendy's contact information.
Oh, that's great.
How many times in the last couple months? I don't know.
People are curious about what you've been up to. They see that you lost a significant amount of weight. You went through COVID and you're maintaining. It's like the trifecta of just piquing curiosity as far as, losing weight and getting healthy.
Well, and it's not always easy. When there are times when I might, on my birthday, I ate a sliver of my cake. That's, I don't need any more. So.
And it's that balance that you learn to strike between, if we were, and Dr. Tran said this in our Facebook interview, right after the super weekend of 2019.
Yeah, right.
So it's July 2019. There is no balance without food pleasure. And there's a place and a time for that. Okay. It's more so let's work out what we need to do on the daily. Okay. To keep you happy and healthy and able to really authentically enjoy those moments of celebration or those moments of indulgence. And then we get back to what we are needing to do just to maintain and honor our bodies, honor our goals, and keep our health in check. And that's been a part of the lesson too, no stretch of the imagination. So, Becky, thank you so much for making time to join us.
Thank you, Becky.
You're welcome.
We'll talk soon.
And good luck with your journey.
All right. Thank you.
Wow, she's awesome.
It's just incredible. It's almost, I don't know that we could close out the show any better than what just unfolded before our eyes and ears. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And like you said, one of the biggest values of this program is the lifestyle change, the long-term nutritional information and coaching and all of that stuff. So when you're talking to an employer about incorporating a program into their wellness benefits, there's other programs out there and I'm not going to name them. However, they might be quick and easy to throw in there because the employer doesn't have to do much, but they're just talking about weight loss. They're not talking about lifestyle change or maintenance. And in fact, they're not nearly as effective as what we see on the regular. Like we said, predictable, repeatable, measurable. Right. What a powerful adjunct in a wellness program the Ideal Protein Protocol could be.
Absolutely. It just is unparalleled in the way of the experience and the outcomes, right? It's the 1-2 punch. It's totally comprehensive. And a healthier workforce is a happier workforce, is a stabilized workforce. There's just so much value to be derived from number one, starting that conversation. If you are in HR or you are in benefits and you are even a little bit curious what this could look like, in your workplace, it's worth a conversation.
Yeah, 100%. And again, in this world where we've pivoted to a certain degree of telehealth and Zoom calls and all those kinds of things, corporations could actually incorporate this in any way, shape, or form it fits, depending on they're coming out of the pandemic or not coming out of the pandemic, how many of their people are remote still. It's really been adapted now to just suit all kinds of different environments.
It has. There are so many ways it makes sense. You'd be hard pressed to find a valid way that it doesn't make sense. Just
Yeah.
saying. If
Yeah.
you challenge yourself to really seek that out, you may not find it because there's just too many boxes to tick in the yes column. It's a win for everybody, all the way around.
Yeah. So speaking of wins, hopefully lots of people in Eagle Mountain, Saginaw are going to see this show.
Mhm.
And so what is the future of this program within the school district, and what might be available to teachers and staff and everybody who's involved right now in that school district?
Well, thank you for asking that. So we are starting the 8-week rejuvenation course, and there's not really a firm and final deadline for anybody who's interested to reach out and get information. We always start with education by virtue of an intro webinar, just to share about the treatment. We share about some of the science in the body. We share about what sets ideal protein aside from something you may have tried before. And we can always get you started. We can always launch your summer of possible when you're ready. Anybody can contact me outside of the Summer of Possible campaign. I will be back here on August 9th to participate in an event here on site for all the staff. And we are going to work with benefits on open enrollment because the staff members here at Eagle Mountain Saginaw ISD can use flex spending or healthcare savings account dollars towards this treatment. And
Wow.
if that's something that you want to plan for, you can contact Jamie in benefits. She's amazing.
All right.
Y'all know she's amazing. But at any point that you are interested enough just to start getting information and learning the facts, feel free to contact me. My number's on that flyer. You've got it in your announcements. And I'll also be available online.
And even at that, it's 380 Ideal Health Studio.
It's 380 Ideal Health Studio.
Yep.
We are extraordinarily social. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram.
That's an understatement. I mean,
have you seen me there, Dr. Vines?
I have. Again, I'm a huge Facebook fan, social media fan. Yes. Keep up the great work. I steal half of,
we share. Sharing is caring. And
There
however you feel compelled to reach out to me, I know that you guys are seeing all the great work we're doing with other people here within the district. And, I want to write your story with you. I would love to be a chapter in one of the most amazing transformative chapters of your life.
Wow. So thank you, Wendy. I really appreciate you approaching me with this concept and this idea. All of it has been so amazing. To meet your clients has been so cool. You've certainly inspired me again to kind of restart the feelers going out to corporations nearby and setting something up with them. I can't wait for the next idea you bring the show, because I know that there's going to be more.
They pop up from time to time, and I really appreciate everything that you are doing to create a positive impact in your community. This podcast is another transformative tool that I use in my clinic. I suggest and forward out episodes as clients are having a situation or an experience. I will send them episodes of this podcast. If you're watching this now, you can always go back and look up the Life Possible podcast and enjoy previous episodes. Mark it as a favorite, get an alert for future episodes. But I just really appreciate how open you are to suggestions and just being a partner. I value that deeply.
Yeah, no, like you said, we're all in this together. We're one huge team. And what fantastic ways to use the show. And I hope that other coaches will start doing that as well.
Yeah, I do too.
All right. Thank you so much, Wendy. This has been an awesome show.
Okay.
And
thank you.
hang around in a little bit. I'll wrap things up and we'll chat after.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there it was. I hope you enjoyed that show. It was, to me, it was such a neat experience, and it was neat meeting all of those people just within this 1 hour and 15 minutes. Like Wendy talked about, if you like this show, as always, please like, subscribe, share on Facebook, YouTube, iTunes podcasts, and Spotify. We're on most podcast platforms. Get the word out. Share it with your friends and families. I hope that there was someone out there who heard something that resonated deep within inside them to give them what they needed to begin their life possible. If you made the decision to start the Ideal Protein program and you're in the Northern Virginia area outside of Washington, D.C., near Centerville, please look up Barnes Chiropractic Health and Fitness. I've got an amazing team of coaches just waiting to help you write your story here. If not, I invite you to go to the corporate website, www.idealprotein.com. There's a clinic locator function on there, and you can find the clinics that are closest to you. Coaches and clinic owners, I'm going to reach out now. Do you have a successful client that you think would be a fantastic guest on our show? This is your opportunity. Please direct message me at the show on Facebook. Or, if you know me on Facebook, please send me messages. I would love to feature your client, yourself, and your clinic on my show. We've got a couple of really cool shows. I always say this, right? I'm so excited for the shows coming up, but we've got a couple of really neat shows in the hopper already. But we're always looking for new ones. So, as always, keep reaching for your life possible.